Only mode.
Good morning, everyone. A pleasure to be here this morning. Beautiful Tuesday, a little bit kind of cloudy here. Glad to have some of the ICs with us today. I guess before we start, just want to make sure that we do a bit of an audio check. If you let me know if you can hear me, that'll be great. I appreciate that. If you can just type in, say, hey, how are you? Okay, perfect. Excellent. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Brian. I believe I owe Brian a reply to an email, so you shall hear from me very shortly. Um, Excellent, everyone. So welcome again to our Launchpad webinar. Just wanted to let you know that next week we will be having a special guest. So definitely look forward to you joining us also. And it'll be also on based on a case study. We'll have a case study as well for next week. And we'll get rock and rolling now. Amalia, how are you today? She was having a bit of technical issues in the beginning. Hello, Amalia? Okay, well, she kind of comes in. I was just speaking with her. Not sure
Hello.
what. Oh, hey, Amalia, how are you?
Hi. Sorry about that. I've been having issues. I was actually speaking and I could hear you guys clearly, but unfortunately nobody can hear me, so I hope you can now. I just want to say good morning to everyone and welcome to today's webinar.
Excellent, thank you. So we're going to go through our latest news and articles, some interesting news in our world, in our space, and definitely we'll be sharing them with you. We also have a bit of um, an article by, or a very in-depth piece, probably more like an in-depth article by Neil Patel on content writing ideas. And the reason I chose to showcase this piece today I understand that our clients sometimes have challenges coming up with content ideas, and as consultants sometimes it's our job to come up with these content ideas or work with their in-house marketing team. So I have some ideas that hopefully if you can just choose one or two of these and research them, they should help you develop a very strong content marketing plan with its specific strategy, right? Because that's such a crucial component of uh, digital marketing. I just won't even say SEO, but not just SEO, but digital marketing overall. Whether it's a landing page, a website page, informational page, or even a social media piece or post, etc. It's very important to have the right content writing strategy, and that begins with a content writing plan or a content marketing plan, right? So Neil Patel, as you know, is a very uh, I would say to a certain degree very reputable entrepreneur and digital marketing strategist slash consultant. And he has a very good article that I hope I'm going to be showcasing, and hopefully you can take some notes from, and would even recommend that you have a look at it. But anyhow, to start off, just wanted to start off. Before I do that, give me one quick second, making sure everything is running smooth. Perfect. So to start off, just wanted to share with you something that interestingly that happened here. Thumbtack, which is actually a service professionals hiring website, which at one point, well, actually was backed by Google Capital in August 2014. So in reality, isn't a Google associated organization. They confirmed that they were hit with a manual action for unnatural links. So meaning they were penalized, right? And the company, as a result, saw a huge decline in Google referrals, ultimately impacting the leads the professionals in their network are receiving. So it was really a bit of a gong show in regards to this manual action penalty that they received for unnatural links. Now, one of the reasons they're saying is that whenever if you look at the Thumbtack website and you receive some information from them, they are always soliciting a bit of a link, a backlinking or a link exchange. So throughout the progress points as part of their profile completion, they're always asking their customers or professionals to link back, right? So because of these quote unquote unnatural links, basically they have been penalized, right? And the recent, I guess this is such an important news is you know, uh, the the, uh, the algorithm still active when it comes to finding websites that are looking at unnatural links, that are looking at soliciting unnatural links, and in this simple, well, not as simple, but in this case, even a Google-based organization or a Google-backed-based organization has been penalized, and it's not the first time that a Google property has been penalized. There's in the past, there's also been other websites that are Google related or Google based that have been penalized. But I just wanted to share this uh, 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 this interesting piece. Now, obviously, the organization is working very hard to make sure that they make the right changes and make the right process or set up the right process in place to avoid this, such as no follow on those links, or a strategy that perhaps considers requesting links or a link exchange. So the key here is that if your client or if you want to engage into a link exchange or link soliciting program, a be very careful. Ideally, if you're going to have a very aggressive link exchange program, you want to make sure these are natural links, and if they are natural, you could potentially be penalized, right? So, I mean, what they recommend in the article is, in mind, the best thing to do is to, if you have all these unnatural links, is to do a no follow the links in the instructions going forward. That way, Google realizes that, yeah, they're linking back to you, but it's a no, necessarily a no follow. So anyhow, just wanted to share with you this news because still to this date, some organizations are being penalized. Now, I'm pretty sure that this strategy has been going on or this practice from Thumbtack has been going on for quite a while, right? So it's not new. They didn't just start, but they just got caught today. So kind of always reminding us that, what, keep an eye out. It's better to do at white hat SEO, because if you're doing some gray SEO, you can definitely get caught. So the best thing is to just practice white hat SEO as much as possible. Um, uh, what they're saying is that if you do take the right measure steps and you follow the process, I mean, Google will definitely, kind of if you disavow these links, Google will definitely re-rank you, and it can happen pretty quickly. However, you may lose some of their natural rankings over time. So let's see what happens. I'm not sure. I mean, we'll keep an eye on this in the next few months, but just wanted to share this interesting piece, that even though the algorithm may have been seen as something that happened a few months back or over a year back, it's still catching websites and penalizing them. Okay, so the algorithm is active. The other thing that I want to share with you is in regards to Google testing large images in mobile search results. Yeah, just a bit of a quirky news. Google, again, back in December 2014, they did try to make some changes to their mobile search result pages, or the way they were displaying. And in this case, what they wanted to do was make sure that they are showing some images. So let me just kind of go forward here. So if you were to go online, for example, for laptop reviews, this is a snapshot of what the search results are showing. And as you can see, it's showing images on the left, like thumbnail images on the left hand side. And typically, this is a test. It's not happening through every search result or every keyword search that you do, but it's happening in some verticals, and they're very thumbnail search results. Now, what Google's trying to do is basically balance a strike between incredibly quickly loading times for both mobile and desktops, and at the same time give the searcher as much information as possible before clicking on the search result. So by having an image, it definitely gives the searcher an idea of what that piece of content's all about before they click on it, right? So right now, I guess they're testing it because the more images that you add, I mean, obviously the longer the download time can be. But anyhow, we'll be seeing if this actually works out, and if it does, I'm pretty sure that it's a very likely that there'll be some sort of a feature where you can choose which image to showcase, right? But right now, for the most part, it's testing, and again, it's just Google's way of continuously focusing on the now moment, right? The mobile moment, right? So anyhow, wanted to share this piece of information for you. The next piece of news that I have is in regards to Apple. And Apple this last week as well, if you recall, 2 weeks ago, last week we spoke about it was Google's web developer forum. I think it was the last week or the week before, where you know Google I/O, I think it's called the iOS convention, where most of the top level Google developers and Google contributors from a development perspective got together and they came up with all these new things, new gadgets, etc. Well, Apple had theirs very recent as well. I think it was last week. I think it was the 5th, and they call it the WWDC, Worldwide Development Conference. And basically, what they've talked about was in the things that are coming up for Google. Now, one of the things that they are bringing to life is really public transit. And according to Apple Senior's VP of Software Engineering, Craig Federici, he talked about the fact that just on Apple related phones or iPads or related tablets, let's say, or mobile devices, they get about 5 billion map user requests per week, right? And the second piece of information is that Apple Maps is used 3.5 times more than the most used mapping app, which is obviously Google Maps, right? So very interesting to find out that that stat, and I can definitely also touch base from my experience. I mean, I have an Android phone, so for me, I always use Google Maps, even though sometimes I get upset at it because it doesn't always work properly. But I think it has to do more with my phone than with Google Maps or Google's app on mapping, specifically the public transit. However, I know that if my wife uses an iPhone, right, and every time I want to search something or want to do something, she's always using Apple Maps to search for a street location. So by default, just because by default, so I can see why iPhone users would definitely have this. So anyhow, just as a default, right? So anyhow, just as going back to the storyline, he talked about the fact that now this information will be made public in regards to public transit information, and it will be you can access it manually by your texting on your phone or finding out through text or your touchpad or via Siri. So the interesting fact is that they're going to be focusing on providing information to obviously top main North American cities. So there's a huge opportunity in North America, both USA and Canada, I believe also in Europe. But one of the areas that they're focusing on is China, which is about, they're planning, I believe, on providing public transit information for more than 300 Chinese cities. So it definitely focuses or showcases or reflects Apple's focus on the market, right? On China as a very strong market or possible growth market, right? So now here is the key thing. From a technical perspective, okay, great. It's a new feature, awesome. If you have an iPhone, you'll be able to have stronger search capabilities to maps using your iPhone. But the key thing is that there's a business component to it where users can now search or browse for nearby businesses by name or category. Business profile pages also feature information on whether Apple Pay is accepted at the business. So definitely something that's coming up, which is uh, uh, you know the way Apple Pay will work is really to promote it through their public transit. So again, just Apple not staying on the heels of Google and focusing on this market share. Okay, so just wanted to share that. We'll definitely try to understand a little bit more about how Apple Pay and advertising works. So we'll be digging up a little bit more information on that for you. But it's interesting to note that this is something very important for them. Okay, I believe Amalia.
Yes. Okay. So I came across an ad. Most currently, Bing as an account homepage gets a total refresh. So the dashboard now shows the top line KPIs and modules for quickly reviewing account performances. So the next time you log into Bing Ads, be sure to check out the new homepage. You'll find it has a brand new look. As of this week, it now brings it into line with that of AdWords, which is now available in all the markets. The homepage now offers more customizable top-line information in the dashboard. Just like AdWords, the top of the dashboard is the KPI summary, a performance graph, and top movers report. Below these modules, it allows you to choose and show depending on what's important to you when quickly reviewing the account performance. We actually added a list of the modules. If you look at one of the adjacent slides, it does provide you, I believe it's on the next slide over. First you'll see the old and the new, and then you'll see a list of modules. Armando, I believe you have the access to that if we show that. And once that's done, you'll be able to see the differences. So the first slide will demonstrate the new Bing Ads look. The second slide will show the models of which you can choose, depending on the greatest importance to you, allowing you to quickly review the account performance. Okay?
Yeah,
Did you
it's
want to
here.
add to that?
No, it's actually well. The only thing is that if you look at the changes from the old homepage, which was
Yeah.
very basic, I guess now the new interface looks very similar to Google AdWords. So I believe we had talked a little bit about Bing also focusing their attention on their interface and making them more user friendly, providing more information to them in it. So this is interesting, and yeah, I'm showing it here
Yeah.
on the screen.
That's great. And then the adjacent slide will show the list of modules that are available. So again, it's all of what is of greater importance to you, so you can lay all that out. Okay? And moving on to the next slide. This here basically is, again, another article I came across I'd like to share. It's called AdWords MCC Gets Cross-Account Campaign Management and Reporting. Basically, Update makes reviewing and managing campaigns across your accounts possible for manager accounts. I believe they've simplified it. Google has added campaign tabs to manager accounts in AdWords. So instead of having to navigate in and out of separate accounts, you can now review and make certain edits to the campaigns across accounts at the manager account level. This will include edit budgets, change campaign status, and review performance across any number of accounts. You could also create new campaigns from this level as well. In the main account tabs, Google has also made updates to reporting, including the addition of segments and filtering tools as well as conversion data in all their columns. The data range selector also now goes beyond 90 days and includes the ability to compare data ranges. For those using sub-manager accounts, a new drop-down lets you select accounts directly linked to the sub-manager. Okay, so that being said, that's the new update as well. Okay,
Yeah,
did you want to add to that?
yeah,
Yeah,
no. I think this is very key for ICs who do have MCC accounts, who are very proactive with AdWords and they really manage their own accounts. It's just going to create more. It's more effective, I guess, more efficient to manage your own campaigns
yeah,
and across different accounts. So I think this is great. I know that I spoke with Darren and the team. Our in-house online marketing manager, who also his background is on very strong in AdWords, and he was pretty happy about this. These are things that I guess if you are a strong user of AdWords and you have an MCC account, it just makes your life a little bit easier, right? So it's great that they made these changes. I mean, I personally don't use it much, but I know that sometimes when you're toggling back from account to account, it can be a bit tedious. So now they've made some improvements. So it looks like both Bing ads and both the Google AdWords are making these small changes to make our life better, I suppose. Excellent. Thank you, Amalia. The next,
Thank you.
yeah, the next interesting article or piece of news that I wanted to share was in regards to an update from Google Shopping feed. But before I do that, I kind of just give me a quick second. I want to go back to the Apple one because I had something on Apple Pay. I know I'm going to get some questions on it, so let me just pause for a second. And basically, the way Apple Pay is very similar uh, to um, uh, to uh, to Google Pay. Where it allows you to make payments on stores or within apps that are at the the Apple Store. So anything that allows you to make purchases through online, uh, by using your iPhone. And from my understanding of what I read in the past, it's really allowing you to make payments on Apple stores, right, or anything related to Apple stores. So it's something that Apple has launched for quite a while now. It's very predominantly used by individuals who have iPhones and iPads, etc. So my take on that article before, which I was talking about Apple Pay, it would be interesting to find out how advertising takes a next turn. For example, if you are a credit card company or or a company that relates or it's co-branded or works with in partnership with Apple, there may be some advertising opportunities as well. Anyhow, just wanted to share that because I know that I had the question in regards to Apple Pay. You can go to apple.com/Apple hyphen pay. It's just another way of paying online through the Apple network, I guess. Okay, just give me a quick second. We'll go back to our slide here. So, having said that, just going back to our next piece of news, Google Shopping feed updates have been announced, and these will most likely take in effect September 15. And the these feeds actually are based on, well, this is really focusing more on Google Shopping, right? Google Shopping, and these feeds actually work from your website or your e-commerce, and all that information of product information, uh, product pricing, etc. All those things that are important attributes of your products in e-commerce, they get fed through the shopping feeds. And Google just came up with a couple of number of things. So the reason I wanted to bring this to your attention is if you have a client who is on already into this program, they should be notified, that there will be some updates. Now they're going to kick in into effect September 15th, so they're giving some leeway time. But if they are currently advertising, selling their products through Google Shop, then you know what, you kind of want to be in tune with this. Some of the things that they'll be doing is, instead of having to enter the entire Google product category path, you can use an ID from the new list of Google product category IDs. It's a little bit more easier to use. Specific in the US, units and quantity attributes are now available for products sold in bulk or high volume. Again, allowing for merchants to provide more options to their potential clients or their customers, right, existing or new customers. And one of the things that I thought was interesting is shipping requirements, which enable the total price to show to users. I know that for the most part, this was primarily very predominantly in North America, but now they're expanding to Switzerland, Czech Republic, Netherlands, Italy, Spain, and Japan. So these are updates that are happening, and maybe you should touch base with your client if they are using these tools. Now, the full list is in the Google Merchant Center Help. Now, the next slide that I wanted to show is, what are Google Shopping feeds? And basically, like I said, is really a data feed of a list of products which are grouped together. So it could be a CSV file that you would upload with all the attributes. And basically, this information is the information that gets used with the Google Shopping tool. So if you want to learn more about it, you can definitely, there's a great article. As a matter of fact, if your client is interested in getting set up, this article, getting started with Google Shopping feeds, very good, very easy to read, as well as the instructions to get started are very good. So sometimes we do get questions from clients in regards to this other medium of, in itself, is another avenue for selling online, and it can be a great one if it's set up properly. So it should be something that can be considered, or should be considered with your e-commerce clients to expand their reach, not just sell through their website, but through their Google Shopping network as well. Okay, Amalia, I believe this one's yours.
Uh, yes, yes, it is. So another update here is Yahoo Map hits a dead end, basically shutting down the end of this month. After 8 years, Yahoo will shut down Yahoo Maps. Basically, they've officially announced that that changes to several of its products and services, and this is one of them. However, the biggest surprise was, of course, shutting down Yahoo Maps. They said basically it will end in the month of June. So at the end of this month, everything's shutting down for Yahoo Maps. The decision was made to better align resources to Yahoo's priorities as their business has evolved, I guess in the last couple of years, and this is one of the reasons why they've made this decision. They said Yahoo will stop showing mapping with their services, but it won't necessarily be powered off with their mapping service. Yahoo has slowed their innovation around maps over the past few years, so I guess it's maybe not too much of a surprise, but it was officially, announced at the end of the month it will be basically shut down. In addition to Yahoo killing off Yahoo Maps, they also announced at the end of Yahoo Pipes, a developer tool, and some additional products as well. So I thought that was interesting, and I was surprised to hear it myself, but it's been done. Armando, did you want to add to that? Or?
No, just similar to you, just surprised that,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't understand. I mean,
Mhm.
Yahoo's gone through so many changes, good and not so good. But one of the things is that they continue to, what they quote unquote say, align their services, better align their resources. Sorry, uh, and I guess this feature is has been has been eliminated. Now, from my understanding, I don't know what third-party mapping engine they will use, because they'll still show mapping within their services, but I don't know. I guess they're not using their own mapping engine. They'll probably have to use a different mapping engine. Maybe we may have to dig a little bit more and do a bit more research into regards to the new mapping engine. But it just tells you a little bit about where Yahoo is, and it just keeps. It looks like, as opposed to moving forward with some initiatives, it just keeps kind of cutting down. So um, it could be a good thing. We'll never know or we'll know in the next probably 6 months, right? When they come up with a whole new list of services that are focusing more on what their business focus is today. But yeah, very very interesting.
Yeah.
Here we have Google Maps growing and Apple with their tool, but Yahoo going the other way. We'll see.
Mhm.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Amalia.
Thank-
Okay, so here we go in regards to the article that I was talking to you about. The article is called "Where to Steal Ideas for Your Next Blog Post," and this is I want to spend some time here on it today, because I know it could be one of the most painful activities that a consultant, a content writer, and even a client can go through when coming up with ideas to write content. And as we know, it's content is required. The content fuels SEO. Content is what's key for uh, uh, to to um, to push, to educate, to take people through the conversion path, right? Whether it's a purchase, the path to purchase, or a path to conversion to a lead, content is very key. And one of the interesting things is, according to Contently, which is an agency that focuses on the aspect of content marketing, they came up with a stat which is 41% of inbound marketers struggle with the task of content creation. Um, Now, content marketing is very key for an inbound marketing strategy. right? Because it really relies on content, right? Very similar to I would say an adaptive SEO strategy, where 45% of the whole methodology is surrounded against the creation of content. So these are some of the things that came up out of this survey, a marketing survey. Well, it was actually done last year, 2014. But 40%, 41% of inbound marketers struggle with the task of content creation. One of the biggest reasons for this is because they don't know what to write about, right? And here, here are some of the challenges that they face based on this survey. Lack of an effective strategy, right? Lack of content creation, 41%. So 46% is the strategy itself, right? So that's very, very important, right? Um, uh, I think it was last week I was working with an IC here in Ontario, and they were approaching or were in the initial stages through the IBA of connecting or providing, or submitting a proposal to a legal firm, a very well established legal firm in Southern Ontario here in Canada. And in speaking with the client, who's actually a marketer herself, and not only that, but very well versed in online marketing, their biggest challenge was that lack of an effective strategy and lack of content creation. And I see this all the time with uh, 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 some of the clients that the ICs bring on board. That there's always that challenge with strategy. How do we deal with this strategy? How do we, what's the best strategy? How do we best approach content? And in essence, the how do we create uh, uh, great content, right? Usable content that can generate results. So, in speaking with this law firm, I mean, this individual, very professional, she knew everything about proper digital marketing strategies, and her biggest challenge is lack of content creation. She has about 5 associates, law associates working with her, and she's continuously asks them for content as part of their job description, and they're never on time. They're always late. So it's one of her biggest frustrations. So I could definitely see that this is very important, and I know ICs have that. I mean, obviously, inadequate budget could be uh, 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 something that's an obstacle, inability to prove ROI, but the biggest thing here is content creation and effective strategy. So Neil Patel takes us through this very interesting, in-depth art. I would call it an in-depth article because this is a pretty long article about some of the strategies to generate content. So you may not get all of them, but I would definitely recommend that you take at least one or two nuggets from this article, and it's on his website neilpatel.com, where to steal ideas from your next blog post. The number one strategy that he talks about is really understanding blog writing. Okay, and understanding blog writing, obviously in this case you have to go through the whole initial stages and research stages, including identifying buyer persona or creating a buyer persona, identifying target audiences, what are the important things that you want to write about, why, the 5 W's, right? And the whole thing is to create a solid framework and a strategy from the get-go, right? You want to have direction. Now, it's easier said than done because when you're working with a small mid-sized company, they may not see past the next 6 months. They may only focus on the first 30 days or 45 days, right? Because, typically small business owners sometimes, although they may have a yearly plan, sometimes they don't follow it through. So they may focus more on, the now. What I would recommend is even just setting up a top level framework for 12 months and filling that framework with the appropriate quarterly marketing plans, right? So you want to have a strategy. So when you're creating content for your business, your focus should be to educate and nurture a loyal audience, because a person may not buy today, but they may buy tomorrow. A person may not convert today, but may convert tomorrow. So one of the things is really going back to the basics and understanding the aspect of blog writing, or even just the aspect of content creation. Okay. because that's definitely going to answer a lot of questions and give a lot of directions. And in this article, he gives a couple of great ideas. The second one is has to do with getting ideas from the competition. Okay, now if you notice, all of these strategies that he recommends will take time. Will take time to research. Will take time to for you to put it all together. So definitely, there's a level of investment as a consultant that you may have to do for your client, because otherwise you'll have you'll have definitely a challenge coming up with ideas. And I know that some ICs, when they go visit the client at the monthly reporting meeting, they may spend 5 to 10 minutes talking about next month's content writing ideas. And it's good that you talk about those, but I would actually recommend that you talk about the next 3 months all the time, right? That way you're always thinking ahead of time. But if you want to do this properly with a client and probably incur less headaches, you definitely have to have that strategy. So spend the time from the onset of the project. Number two, like I said, get ideas from competitors. You have to think very, very outside the box. Don't necessarily just think of competitors as competitors within the same location, but why don't you look at competitors in different states, right? So, for example, we're working with an auto dealer here in Toronto, a VW, Volkswagen dealer, and Volkswagen does provide a lot of information on their corporate website, and they have their own blog. And what I told the IC and their coordinator was, why don't you focus on looking at what other VW dealerships are doing, and look at other competitors outside of Toronto. Why don't you look at Vancouver, look at Ottawa, look at New York City, Chicago, right? LA. You kind of want to do a bit of a search, spend some time, get some ideas on what's being written about. What are some of the topics that are trending? It could be a new product release. It could be something that impacts the industry, right? And you want to definitely check them out and see what they're working, because I'm pretty sure there's some guys, if you type in, if, for example, in this case, Volkswagen dealerships in San Diego, the top guys, the guys that are doing their job properly from an SEO perspective, will will come up. And if they're ranking very high, it's because most likely they have a very well thought out SEO strategy, which includes a content writing strategy. So it's really good to look at and generate ideas from the competitors. Okay, don't just think local. Even though your client may want to focus on local optimization, think outside the box and get ideas from competitors. Again, it takes time, right? So maybe have your client provide you with some competitors or some other companies that they know that are competitors outside of their specific region, so you can get some ideas to see what they're doing. Okay. The other one is very key also, is extract ideas from non-internet marketing publications. So sometimes, you know what, we always turn to the internet for ideas, but it's even though there's been a decline of print journalism, they still enjoy these in the newspaper and magazine industry still enjoys a great loyalty from readers. So, for example, according to Statistica, on average, people in the U.S. spend 21.7 minutes each day reading newspapers, and on an annual basis, U.S. consumers spend $44 on newspapers. So it's still, even though it's a very declining uh, um, uh, industry or vertical as a medium of advertising, sorry, and if we recall last week's Mika report, Mary Mika report, you saw that print is going down. There's still, newspapers are still being printed, and they're still writing them. So journalism is still alive through traditional print media. So why not extract ideas from them? Whether it be a magazine or a newspaper, see what's out there, what other people are talking about. So you know, in the case of our auto dealership client, what I told him was, you know what, on a weekly basis, there's a big auto section that comes out every week. I think it comes out on Thursdays here in Toronto, and some of the top newspapers. Pick up the newspaper, see what they're talking about, and maybe you can get some ideas there as well. So the whole thing here is, again, spend some time, do a bit of research. If you don't do this and just uh, uh, just execute or implement in a content marketing strategy without thinking it through, you're not going to generate the results that you want. Okay, so another one. Okay, another idea is niche specific Kindle books, right? With the rise of Kindle books and there's hundreds and hundreds of ebooks, let's say, you may find ideas there as well because everybody wants to be an expert. It gets to a point that there may be a bit of oversaturation of information. But if you look to niche specific type of Kindle books and you go through the process of researching this, definitely will give you they'll give you lots of ideas. There's lots of writers out there, lots of bloggers that have their own books, and it's a new great source of finding out ideas, right? And Neil Patel talks a little bit about it, how to do it properly, the step by step. And if I may actually show the article in a second. And I thought that was a very neat idea because you never would think that Kindle books, there's hundreds and hundreds of people actually doing this. So let me just here, for example, so he talks about there's a whopping 6.7 million people write and publish new blogs on blogging platforms. So it was projected that 128 million Americans will read blogs, and that keeps increasing. So definitely, what you want to do is you may not want to focus on mainstream. You want to focus on smaller niche areas and identify those writers and bloggers that you can actually focus on, and you can actually do that. Sorry, I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to go slow. So, he talks about, how to research these books on Amazon, right? In the Kindle store, and basically, understand, maybe focus a little bit more on researching each book by looking at some of the top level content and making sure that whatever information that book has been written about can provide you with the information that you need. So it's definitely a great idea. I thought in case you ran out of ideas with your client, you may have to spend some time on it. Now, if you do have your own project coordinator in house, or perhaps you can even hire an intern just to do research for you, right? It's a project, maybe you can connect with a local college or a local university and have just an intern who is really interested in journalism or content writing, gather that information for you. Maybe you do pay him a little bit, but you know what? It's going to save you time and energy just to go through this research. So that is very, very key in regards to the aspect uh, of uh, of content. The other part that he talks about is number five, mainstream platforms. So in this case, which is also a great idea, is to be looking at your competitors or industry related websites and their social media platforms, right? Some of these platforms will share articles and news items. So obviously look at their Facebook, which is the number one source of social media traffic in North America. And in I would say in Latin America, Facebook is very key. So you want to kind of look at Facebook, your competitors' Facebooks, distributors, industry-related websites, and their don't just look at their websites, but also review their social media properties because that's where they're sharing articles and news items, and you want to be part of that, right? So there is a lot of ideas out there. It's just a matter of really sitting down and perhaps doing one or two of three of these strategies, testing them out, and then working out another one. However, the key thing is that you want to have a strategy for your content because if you leave it for your client to provide you with that or to give you a lot of feedback, you're not going to get it. So I would definitely encourage the ICs to definitely look into this article. Let me just post it also here. Just give me a second. I thought it was very helpful. I mean, I know that I always get ICs when I'm speaking with them, and they're asking me, Armando, how do I deal with this? Uh, how do we deal with this issue of generating content? Well, here is 5 strategies. Choose one or two of them, try them out, and hopefully you'll be able to get some results. And don't be afraid to think outside the box. Don't be, think about perhaps hiring a junior person for a temporary time per assignment. I know that one of the ICs, one or more than one of the ICs that we work with, uh, they actually have a junior content writers, and they actually don't even get to write. The only two things that they focus in is one is research to develop the content marketing plans, and number two is do the social media creation. So think outside the box, and hopefully you'll be able to get some great ideas from this article. So apart from that, today's a bit of a short webinar, but I hope that the information that we've provided here with Amalia helps you. Next week we'll have a special guest, so stay tuned. Hopefully we'll be able to announce it in a day or two. But look forward to having you join us, and have yourself a great week. Amalia, any final thoughts from your side?
Oh no, just thank you, and I look forward to next week.
Okay, thank you
Okay,
for joining us, and
great.
best of luck. Take care. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.